Well, hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, or if you are new, welcome for the first time. My name is Steven. Today, I'm starting a brand new series called Training for Leadville. It's going to be all about my training, obviously, leading up to the Leadville 100 trail race in August 19th to be exact. Along the way, in just a few short weeks now, I will have the Leadville Trail Marathon, that is June 17th. And then in July, I've also got the Silver Rush 50, which takes place in Leadville as well. That is on July 8th, I believe. So two big races coming up on the way to the Leadville 100. So perfect training runs leading up to the Leadville 100. After Leadville, I've got another 100-mile race in the fall, which we'll get to after Leadville. We got to tackle that first. So I do hope you will join me throughout this series. It's going to be about 14-ish weeks long leading up to the Leadville 100 race, where I will obviously have a race video put together for that. So let's dive into the last week of training. Monday was a rest day, which was much deserved because on Sunday I did the Manitou Incline, the mini loop challenge, which if you haven't seen it already, take a look at the video, top right corner. Yeah, it was a lot of elevation gain, over 7,000 feet in less than 20 miles. So it was a tough day. So yes, I needed a rest day for sure. So first thing I did was jump in the Hydrogun Heat Pod sauna blanket. I absolutely love that thing. If you have not seen that video yet either, top right corner, take a look at that. It's well worth the money. It's awesome. I love it. So I did that for about 30 minutes. And then I jumped in the Air Relax recovery legs. I did those, for about 15 minutes, high compression on the quads, and then the entire legs up and down, top to bottom. Felt great. And then I also had my FMT, which is my functional movement therapy. If you don't know, if you're new, I have been having some issues with my neck and my spine, way out of alignment, my hips. So I've been going to functional movement therapy now for quite a while, probably 10 weeks, and I've got about another 10 weeks to go. So yes, I did that on Monday. So Tuesday called for a rest day. My coach moved things around a little bit for me. If you don't know, I train with vert.run. I've been with them for about 2 years. And so my coach moved things around a little bit for me after that incline ultra challenge, basically. He knew I would need an easy day, so put an easy day on the calendar. And that was actually the first run in these here. These are the Solomon Aero Glides. Stay tuned, review coming on those. So yes, took it easy for sure, and only was about an 8:46 over about a 45-minute run. It was easy. Hey, real quick, I want to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, and that is vert.run. I've been training with vert.run now for a little over 2 years, and it has seriously been one of the best things for the consistency in my training. I had always designed my own plans because I wasn't a new runner, but having a professional trail runner design your plan, having that person there, that accountability has been amazing and really improved my running. So if you have been on the fence about getting a coach, I highly recommend trying vert.run. Look below in the description for a coupon code to save 40% off your first months of training, and a link to go download the app, whether you're on an Android or an iPhone. All right, back to the video. So that gets us to Wednesday, May 3rd. Wednesday's plan called for an hour and 45-minute easy trail run with about 800 to 1,200 feet of elevation gain. So it's supposed to be very easy. So Wednesday was a very busy day. I actually did not get to run until it was dark. I went out with my headlamp on the new Santa Fe Trail, which goes up through the United States Air Force Academy. And it's just a really pretty flat gravel, crushed gravel kind of trail. I took the Puma Fast Track Nitros out. Almost ready to do the review on these guys, so stay tuned for that as well. But that was a cool run because it was, like I said, it was moonlight. I had the headlamp on for about the first hour. I didn't even use it. It was so bright. The moon was incredibly bright. It's 8:20 at night, and the moon is so bright that it's casting a shadow on the ground. This is great. Got the headlamp, but might not need it. Who knows? We'll see. Yeah, I didn't even need it. It was awesome to get out and just run by the moonlight. I didn't see a single person. It was peaceful, relaxing, and had a really cool lightning storm to watch on the way home. Don't worry, it was probably, I'd say at least 10 miles to my south. I could see it up on the mountain. It was hitting Cheyenne Mountain pretty good, but it was really cool to watch. So anyway, that was a little over 12 miles at an easy 8:35 pace on those trails. I mean, it was pretty flat. I think I only ended up getting about 530 feet of elevation gain, so less than I was supposed to get, but it's okay. So Thursday was another rest day, which was great because my legs were still feeling pretty darn fatigued, I'm not gonna lie, after that event on Sunday. So I needed a little bit more time to rest the legs. And Thursday was just that. I did have my functional movement therapy. So one of the exercises you can see me doing here is called the prolodonic, or the nexerciser as we call it. It just helps kind of restore the curve in the neck a little bit, which I'm trying to get that back because my neck was too far forward. And then of course doing some other exercises as well, just kind of focusing on strength in certain areas to try to correct some posture things that I'm working on. But yeah, and then of course I did also hop in the sauna blanket later that night, and then also the air relax legs to try to get those legs a little bit more recovery. So Friday, May 5th, this was a fartlek session, some speed work. My coach had moved this to later in the week to kind of allow my legs to recover just a little bit. And it worked because my legs felt pretty decent this day. I actually went out on the trails with the Puma Deviate Nitro 2s here. They worked pretty darn well on the trail, to be honest. I mean, granted, it was some urban trails. Yeah, so my fartlek plan called for basically a 20-minute warm-up, give or take a few. And then I had to repeat 5 times, run for 0.3 of a mile at like a 7 out of 10 on the RPE scale, and then 0.3 of a mile out of 5, so a little bit less intensity. And I do that 5 times on the trails, single track trails, and it was supposed to be fairly flat trails. So I found a great little section, ran those, body felt pretty good. I probably then went a little harder than a 7 out of 10, probably closer to an 8 out of 10 on the RPE. But again, my body was feeling pretty good, and yeah, so I just did that and then rounded out the rest of the run with an easy, chill pace on the way back. I think my average pace was an 8:53 for 9 miles, so definitely not a totally fast pace except for those intervals, but the legs felt good, and it was a good session. It was a quality session. Running down this hill pretty darn fast, I literally almost rolled my ankle on a super non-technical trail because that is not a stick. It is a snake, and I jumped over here, stepped in that, almost rolled my ankle. Sheesh. So Saturday, May 6th was a trail run. This was supposed to be a free run. It basically meant I could hit any trail I wanted, just go out for the time, which was about 2 hours, and just enjoy the trails, not pushing the pace, taking it pretty easy. So it was kind of difficult that day because we had lots of games to get to that day, lots of kids games. I've got my 2 boys play flag football and my oldest daughter plays soccer, so we had to kind of divvy them up a little bit to make it to the games, and I was able to squeeze one in after my daughter's game in the afternoon, and it was a beautiful run. Headed up Seven Bridges Trail, Trail 622, up to the top summit area, and then we're gonna check out Loud's cabin. Should be pretty cool. An old cabin from like 1902. We'll see what's left of it. So if you remember, this is the trail I took to go summit Mount Rosa when it was covered in snow. Much different now. So beautiful back through here. So beautiful. All right, well, this is Loud's cabin. This is a historical monument that sits on the southern slope of Mount Garfield back there. Loud's cabin, otherwise known as Chipmunk Lodge. It was built in 1902 by Colorado College professor by the name of Frank Herbert Loud. There used to be several small buildings erected around this area by Mr. Loud. So the Chipmunk Lodge here is the last remaining structure to the public. This is the only one that's still standing. As you can see in the center, there's an 8-foot stone chimney that stands amongst the toppled logs, and it's really pretty darn awesome. And just to think about how this was built over what 121 years ago, in 1902. All of this log construction, it's amazing. Even around the back of the cabin, they had a little back door, which is pretty cool. So behind me there, up through the trees, that is Mount Garfield, and that sits over 10,900 feet. And then back that way is Mount Arthur, which is like 10,800. You can't really see it behind the trees, but pretty stinking awesome. I gotta make it up there sometime.
Well, now I'm headed up Kineo Mountain. Shouldn't be too much longer, but it's all uphill. So Kineo Mountain here sits over 9,400 feet up. Over there, that's Mount Roast at 11,500. And then, all right, and then Pikes Peak back there, 14,100 something. All right, well, I would love to stay up here because this is just amazing. I mean, it's breathtaking, beautiful up here, but I gotta get down, so let's head down.
So overall, that run ended up being about 9.2 miles, a little over 2,000 feet of elevation gain in a little under 2 hours. It's fine. And it was a great, beautiful day to be out in the woods. It was just perfect, perfect weather. And that run, as you saw, was the first run in the Saucony Peregrine 13 STs for soft terrain. Overall, they did a pretty darn good job. And that brings us to today, Sunday, May 7th. This was supposed to be a cross training day. I'm bad at cross training, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't like to bike at all. I pretty much only get on the bike if I'm injured and cannot run. So I do have a busy week coming up this following week. The week you're watching this, I'm going to be traveling for work, so it'll be kind of hard to pick up some runs. So I did go out and do an easy run today. It was almost 8.5 miles, almost an hour and 15 minutes. I actually ran up to a friend's house, helped him move a treadmill down into the basement of his house. And that was, it was a great leg workout. My legs were tired, so then I ran back home, which luckily was downhill most of the way. And also that was the first run in the Tracksmith Elliott runners here. That's these guys. Stay tuned. Review will be on those in probably a couple weeks. Quickly though, this midsole felt amazing. Really like this Pebax midsole. It was very nice. So overall for the week, it was about 45 miles, a little over 8 hours worth of training. I did train a little bit more than my plan had, but that was because those FMT sections on my rest days, they still show up for time on feet and time in my plan, so a little bit more activity there. But it was a decent week of training considering I was coming off of that really hard incline challenge event on the last Sunday. So hopefully this next week I'll be able to stay to plan, but it's not looking very hopeful with as much as I'm traveling. I'm gonna have a lot of meetings to go to, a lot of dinners and things like that, so it's gonna be very hard to squeeze in some runs, but I'm gonna try my best. So please stick around and join me on this journey as I train for the Leadville 100. Maybe you're gonna be there. If so, please let me know in the comments. That would be awesome to meet up with you while we're out there. You know, maybe we'll share some miles together. Or if you run the race, let me know, and maybe we can link up and I can pick your brain for some insight on the race. And as we go through this training for Leadville series, I'm also gonna be talking about some of the logistics of planning for the race as far as housing, transportation, crew, all those kinds of things. It's gonna play into that. And nutrition. I've got some other nutrition that I will be testing as well. It should be here this coming week. A couple of brands have sent some things. And then obviously lots of shoes to test, lots of gear to find out the shoes I'm gonna wear, all that stuff. So it should be a very good series. I hope you will join me. Well, thank you guys. And if you have not already, why don't you take a look at that incline challenge video. It's on your screen over here. And then you know what, on that side, we'll throw a playlist of some other beautiful trails to go check out also. So thank you for watching. I do appreciate you all so much, and I'll see you in the next episode.